Hey, bros, welcome to Just Us Bros podcast. And with all the movies coming out, we decided to rank our top five DC and our top five Marvel movies. Who wants to kick it off for us?
Okay. So I guess if we're going to start in DC for the last 10 years, because if we went all the way back, this would be a long, drawn out process for us. But for me, my top five list for DC movies that came out in the last 10 years, my number five would be the Suicide Squad. GL, what's your number five?
This is gonna shake some rocks, but my number five would actually be Blue Beetle.
Flashman, what about you?
So for my number five, I'm going with the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Okay. Hojo?
Hojo.
I wasn't counting that one because I was only looking at DC. Oof. Then that's going to make my number five Wonder Woman.
That surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that you would be one to like a Wonder Woman movie when you have those other choices there. That you'd be like, no, I'm gonna go with these movies instead. I like these movies better.
Well, the close six was The Suicide Squad.
See, because me personally, I would have thought you would have liked the Suicide Squad better than Wonder Woman, but see, I was wrong. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah. Okay. And what, so sort of explain why that's your number five pick, guys.
For me, because for what it was when not the Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad came out with Will Smith Deadshot. I did like that movie. I wanted so much more out of it. I wanted so much from it. But for what it was good. But the Suicide Squad, when that came out, I really felt that was more of a complete movie put together. I enjoyed it better than Suicide Squad. So yeah, that's why it's at my top five because the direction that movie went with handling the characters that still came from Suicide Squad and going forward with new characters, like it really made me excited for watching more DC movies.
Why was that? Why was Blue Beetle your number five so far?
Just kind of going back through the list of what's come out since Man of Steel, and the movies that I enjoyed the most. One, I'm probably partial because it's fresh in my head. I just watched it 2 nights ago. But truly going back through the movies and ranking them and not including any kind of sequels or number twos to spoil any of my list. That was I enjoyed the character in the movie the most out of the other DC movies.
I went with the Batman for the sheer fact that it was kind of an already established character. It was just we could go into the movie and just know what we were getting right out of the gate and just start. So I thought I really liked the movie.
Yeah, and I chose Wonder Woman because it was a war movie. I mean, the first time you really see her on the big screen like that, and she was badass. The music, like even still, that chord whenever she comes up, still gets you, even if you hear it as a ringtone. You're like, like looking around the corner. But yeah, so let's move on to number four. Badger, what's your number four movie?
My number four is The Flash. Yes.
My number four would be Black Adam.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay, and mine is the Batman. So we swapped ours on that. But yeah,
It's number four because there are on my list. There are three movies that I enjoyed a lot more than this one. The Flash for the sheer fact Michael Keaton was in it. I got to see him again as Batman. That really made my heart sing. Love that part, and it honestly, even though it didn't do so great in the box office, it really was a great movie to watch. I really wish more people would have went out to the theaters and saw it because it really was a great heartfelt story and movie. And but yeah, it's my number four.
GL, Black Adam. I know you loved. I know you love The Rock.
Yeah, I like The Rock. I think he completely took that character and made it himself. I mean, The Rock, for all intents and purposes, was Black Adam. He sold the character to me. Was the storyline of the movie the best? Just like Blue Beetle, probably not. But it introduced some other characters like Doctor Fate, Hawkman, that we'd not seen on the live action screen before. And the hype building up to the movie and just The Rock's involvement, I enjoyed the movie. So that's why it's my number four.
And Flashman, I think it was similar reasons why I liked Wonder Woman.
Mine was the score alone. I the sheer it's that tone you already talked about, man. You hear it and you instantly know what it is.
And I like the Batman because like what you said, Flashman, it's a film noir, it's setting, it doesn't need Superman. It's very gritty. It's grittier than the Dark Knight. So I appreciated that. Number three, moving on, Bat Drew, who we got?
For my number three, I put Man of Steel.
Okay. GL
My number three, I have the Suicide Squad.
and Flashman.
Batman versus Superman.
And mine is also Man of Steel. I think it was a great kickoff to the what was going to be the DCEU, and I think Henry Cavill's a great Superman. Would have loved to see him as like the black suit Superman in a full length movie, not just at the end of one. But I thought it was a great start. Made him a very likable person in that movie.
Yeah, because I can remember when that came out, our local theater gave us free tickets because of where I worked at the time. They partnered with them and gave us free tickets for the movie. So I think I got some of y'all free tickets. I'm not sure who did.
Yep.
But I can remember wearing my Batman shirt going in that movie. People were like, "This is a Superman movie." I was like, "I'm still a Batman fan first," but I went in, watched the movie, enjoyed it. Um, the way that the movie ended with, I mean, obviously this is gonna be spoilers, but who hasn't seen this? Been out for 10 years. Him having to kill Zod and being like, "Wow, this is not the Superman we grew up knowing." But I was thinking at that time, like, I still like this movie, but that was very different. Now I wanted to really see Henry Cavill Superman go at that point. I was like, okay, I'm ready for the sequel. I'm ready for like his trilogy of movies to see how his character is going to build, develop, and grow and learn from obviously all the stuff that happened to Man of Steel 1. I was thinking about that 10 years ago, and now here I am 10 years from now. I'm like, still waiting, and probably never will get to see that come to a close, unfortunately.
I want to piggyback off of that, Drew, that I did like that movie, and I was the same way when Superman was forced to snap Zod's neck. It was either snap Zod's neck or let Zod destroy the world. My first reaction was, "Oh no, Superman doesn't kill," but second reaction was, "This Superman does." So I mean, I just wanted to
Reluctantly.
piggyback on that though.
He had to.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
He had to, and he felt horrible about it. I mean, he cried. He
Yeah.
felt horrible.
And I
about it.
really felt like his stories and his movies after that, he would have learned from that, and he would have learned from, okay, next time a villain comes to town, I'm gonna obviously take them away from people, and we're not gonna kill him. We're gonna he was fresh off like starting like, hey, how do I do this superhero shit? I don't know. And now he's
Yeah.
learned from Man of Steel, so he can go to his next further movies and figure out, okay, now I know what not to do. Let's get this part right, and he can grow into the Boy Scout we know and love.
My number three was the Suicide Squad. Same reasoning as Bat Drew. I also loved the opening sequence where you get introduced to all these characters and immediately they all die. And I was like, well, that definitely sets the tone for the movie going forward, and that's why it's called the Suicide Squad.
And
It was a fun movie. It introduced what became one of my soon to be favorite characters, Peacemaker.
What I tasted.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So me and Eagly of Peacemaker, that's I like Suicide Squad.
And I just want to piggyback in a typical James Gunn move leading up to that's like, look at the star-studded cast, blah 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 blah. Captain Boomerang's back, this, but and then the first 5 minutes they're all dead, which I thought that was typical James Gunn. So I'll enjoy that. Flashman number three and why?
It was Batman versus Superman. I mean, it was the first time we saw the Holy Trinity on screen. I mean, how could you not love that movie? The score and everything else to that movie. I'm a big music guy. I mean, it's me. So I love that movie.
Number two, Bat Drew, what we got?
Number two, for me, I definitely had to make a distinction. It was Zack Snyder's Batman versus Superman, not the one that was released in theaters. I still enjoyed that, but the ultimate cut is the one I liked.
I should have
GL?
prefaced. Yeah.
My number two, I think it's already been mentioned by I think everyone on here. Wonder Woman is my number two. Again, the score for me, the da 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 da. That and Gal Gadot was just a badass from the start, and she
Mhm.
was the perfect Wonder Woman. So
Yeah, Flashman number two.
Uh, Aquaman.
Oh,
I loved it.
okay. My number two is Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. I thought it made it leave me wanting a lot more as far as the sequel goes, but it was I really enjoyed it. The color scheme, the 4:3 ratio, it was awesome.
Oh, what can I not say or say that I did not like about this movie? Because I don't think it was anything really. Because when we saw Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice in theaters, I was like, wow, this was great. Like, there's some things that can be improved on. There were some things that confused me a little bit, but I was just off that high. I was like, man, I got to see all of them together already. It was like just, ugh, I love this. And then as you know, I went further and rewatched. I'm like, okay, this part doesn't make sense. Like this scene really should have been way before any of this happened. But obviously, we learned that the theatrical cut had a lot of studio interference and whatnot. And then when we finally got the ultimate cut released when it came out on DVD, and I watched that, I was like, okay, so much of this makes so much more sense. And it was just to me, it was nearly a perfect movie. I think the ultimate cut because I like Flashman said, I like the dynamic seeing the Holy Trinity on the screen, and I'm just like, whoa, this is so cool. And yeah, it was just it for me. It hit all the right notes for me. I loved it.
Yeah. Flashman, Aquaman.
Visuals alone, I think, because it puts you in the world of Atlantis. I mean, I'm a buoy. I love the water, so it just kind of made sense to gravitate to that movie. And plus, he was one of those obscure characters that they truly made you genuinely care about. So it's high up on the list for me.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number one. Badger, what is your number one DC movie and since 2013?
Oh, gee golly gosh, guys, I don't know what my number one movie would be. I think it's probably the Batman with Pattinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mine's gonna be Batman v Superman. However, I did not know that there was a director's ultimate cut, so I've not seen that. So I need to see that because
Yeah, you need to see
uh,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flashman.
this is my favorite without seeing that.
Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max.
Okay. And my number one is Batman v Superman, the ultimate cut. So yeah, I I think it was great. It did miss some stuff, but I mean, it completely cut out a character in the theatrical release. They did it right in the ultimate cut, so it just made that movie so much more enjoyable for me. Because like that with Zack Snyder's Justice League, I was like, I didn't want the movie to end.
Yeah. But yeah, the Batman because going into it, like everyone when they announced that Robert Pattinson was going to be cast as Batman, everyone was like, "Wow, this is really going to suck," because all that anyone could think about was Robert Pattinson from Twilight.
He's
I
gonna
mean, that was my first thought too. I was like, "What the hell?" He finally turned into a Batman after all that crap in Twilight. But then I, took a step back. I looked at his repertoire, the movies he's been in, um, and understood that okay, Matt Reeves knows what he's doing, and he picked this guy probably because it's going to fit into his universe, and he damn sure did. Was it a perfect movie? No. Was there a lot of head scratching moments where you're like, wait, does this make sense? But no. But the overall pacing, um, him being Batman in the movie for more like it was a 3 hour movie, and he's as Batman in the movie for like at least two and a half, it seemed like. Because we definitely got more of Batman than Bruce, and I love that because that was the first movie where I think we see more of the Batman than like Bruce Wayne or side stuff or whatnot. But yeah, it just everything clicked for me. I liked it, and I really want to see more going into that Reeves verse there.
We got the detective Batman in that movie. I mean,
Yes,
that's what we wanted.
Yeah. And GL, me and you have the same number one. So any reasons that I didn't mention that you want to add on to it?
Why do you say that name?
I knew that was coming.
No, I think with everybody else that listed this, I believe, within their top three. I think I froze for a second.
Yeah.
With everybody else that listed this in their top three or at least top five, it was great seeing all three, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, on screen at one time. It was an original storyline, which I actually did like. And yeah, it was great. It was kind of almost a Man of Steel 2 with Batman and Wonder Woman in it. Which
I can
I know
see
we
that.
didn't get a true Man of Steel 2. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the portrayals of the characters. And yeah, it was just a fun movie. I think I saw it 5 or 6 times in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Flashman, and your number one was Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. I
We
mean, that was
got
my
my
number two.
my favorite DC character, period, is Darkseid, and we got to see him on the big screen. And the Nightmare Escape, you got to see the crew is the only way I'm gonna put that. Like that, the way that that was done, not the justice bullshit that came out, but I, it's one of those movies I gravitate back to. Like if I'm just wanting something to play, that's what I play.
All right. And so there you have it, guys, our top five. But me, being a perfectionist, had to go back and list all, what was it, 16 movies? So I'm going to go ahead and run that down and piss some people off.
Okay.
16, Wonder Woman 84. 15, Justice League. 14, Suicide Squad 2016. 13, Black Adam. 12, Blue Beetle. 11, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. 10, The Flash. 9, Birds of Prey. 8, Aquaman. 7, Shazam. And 6, The Suicide Squad. So, had to do it.
Did you put Birds
What?
of Prey above the Flash?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I thought the same thing when he said it.
You think you know some people, and then something like this comes out. Well,
Ain't trust funny.
Alrighty, guys. What is your favorite top 5 DC movies in the last 10 years? Let us know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Next video, we're going to be talking about our favorite top 5 MCU movies. Till next time, guys. Cheers.
Shazam.